for that beatbox, Jason. You got it? We don't have our intro anymore, so that's the new intro.
Oh, that's it.
Did you ever beatbox back in the day?
No, man. I have terrible rhythm.
No.
I wish I could, like, play the drums or something. But even like when I try to learn to play the guitar, strumming on the guitar was difficult for me just to keep. You know, you got to think about the strum pattern and pushing all that. I'm just terrible with any kind of rhythm.
So your nickname growing up was an old strummy?
Not at all.
No strummy.
Not at all. And it amazes me the people that can, like, play the stuff on the drums with such accuracy without even thinking about it.
Well, a mutual friend of ours, a young man that we highly respect and love and think the world of, none other than the Alan Barnes.
Yes.
Man, the other day I'm just he's on the piano just jamming out. I was like, man, this dude's got it going on.
He can do it all, can he?
Oh yeah, I joke with Alan all the time, Jason. I told him, I said, one day Torrin's going to be calling you, man. Yeah. Torrin Wells is going to be calling him. So he's a great man. Well, hey, we want to welcome all of you in. Thanks for hanging out with us. Sorry we didn't hit 600 on you, Jason. It's episode 599.
See, I always miss these. It seems like it always lands on Billy.
No, that's the thing, is it doesn't land on Billy. He's always complaining, saying, when am I ever going to get a great number? And so last week, it was a little difficult week for us. We had to put down our pup and all that, and so I took Tuesday off, but that took away the 600 blessing for you and moved it to Jason's, or to Billy.
So he's going to be really, really excited tomorrow.
Yeah, Jason called me into his office yesterday, Jason Bay here, and he was kind of red, and I said, what's going on? And what did you do in taking off yesterday, man? Or Tuesday? I said, man, I had to put my dog down. He goes, I know, but that should have been a half a day. You took away my 600th blessing.
Not true.
He didn't see. Not true. He would never say that, man. So anyway, 600 tomorrow. Come join us.
$5.99.
$5.99 today.
Tomorrow.
600 tomorrow. Come join us at Cafe Texan. Vance Howard and Tiffany Gobble, who was the GM over there, she has said, y'all come on. And so we're going to have a special episode, our 600th episode, live tomorrow from Cafe Texan. And they're going to open up early. Come on. The last time we did one of these, we had about 30 people show up. And even the Huntsville Fire Department showed up, Jason. It was really awesome. So we want to invite all of you. Cafe Texan going to be opening up a little bit earlier. So come and join us at 7:30 and hang out with us until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning as we celebrate 600 episodes of promoting the good here in Huntsville. It's like every time we hit a 100 mark, we do a little special thing. So that's the new focus. We call it our Hometown Spotlight, and we want to spotlight so many folks here in our community, and that's what we try to do. We do want to welcome you in. Big thank you to Elliot Herzlich from Elliot's Jewelers. He's online at elliotsjewelers.com for all of your jewelry needs. Go by and see my great friend. It's Mr. Elliot Herzlich. He's located on the 4th floor of the First National Bank building. Got to set up an appointment first, but once you set up that appointment and go see him, beautiful showroom. His son works with him now, and John Michael. And John Michael's an excellent young man, just a very nice, humble man. The whole family, they're great people. Just go by and see Elliot next time you're thinking about jewelry. And, of course, we couldn't be here on a Thankful Thursday without Jason Bay, pastor here at First Baptist Church, a harbor of hope. And we call it a harbor of hope because we believe and know that true hope is only found in a relationship through Jesus Christ. Well, Jason, here we are, man. It's been, the last few weeks have just been up and down, a lot going on, but there's always one thing that remains true, and you taught me this, that the Lord is still on the throne. Christ is still on the throne. And I've been thinking a lot lately. I know you don't see it this way, but I see it this way about myself. Man, I've been complaining a lot about not feeling good and woe is me. I've developed like this woe is me attitude over the last year. And and I know you don't see that in me because you've told me, no, it's just life, but I've recognized it. And I think sometimes in life it's important for us to self-reflect. And I started thinking, man, I need to quit that stinking thinking, as old Pastor Buzzy used to say in Louisiana. It's an old Pentecostal pastor. I think I told you his story one time. He was doing one of these crusade things, and they were inviting people down to the altar, and some guy started standing up, and his belly was hanging out of his white T-shirt. So imagine an old Bubba, right?
Yeah, right.
An old Bubba, and his belly's hanging out, and he's got a hairy belly. And old Pastor Buzzy said, well, get on down here, you old hairy belly, and get the rest of it. And so that was Pastor Buzzy. But that was a phrase that he always said was, quit your stinking thinking. And in a way, he's right, because the enemy attacks us through our mind. And I started thinking, Jason, not a prosperity type deal, but I started thinking, I'm going to wake up in the morning in victory.
Right.
I'm going to be thankful that I have a relationship with Jesus Christ who can carry me through anything, the good times and the bad times. And I'm going to stop this, man, I'm not feeling good today. Man, my back's hurting today. Man, my knees are hurting. You know what? There's millions of people that are 40 plus that have those same problems. And so today I'm going to stand on the truth and stand on the Word of God and say, you know what? The battle's already been won. I'm going to speak victory over my life, and it's victory in Jesus Christ. And I'm done with all that stinking thinking, Jason.
I like it.
So there you go. That's how we're waking up today, man.
Well, I like it, and it reminds me of one of my favorite stories in the Old Testament. And you remember the story when Elijah called fire down from heaven when he confronted the prophets of Baal on Mount Carmel. And most people remember that story and all the things that happened at that point whenever they poured water on the altar and the Lord set the altar on, he called fire down from heaven, and the Lord set the altar on fire, and all the prophets of Baal scattered like ants and were beheaded, the Bible says. But the interesting thing, I think, is what happened after that, because we've all had mountaintop experiences where we're really, great times, and we think about those times. But what happens after those times? And after that, after Elijah was at the top, he went through a difficult time, and he fled from Jezebel, and he ran into the cave. And he ran into a cave to hide and really think about, just like what you said, kind of evaluate where he was. And God confronted him while he was in the cave, and he said to him, Elijah, what are you doing here? And I think that's a great lesson for us all, those that have found victory in Jesus Christ, is to say, it's okay to feel sorry for yourself every once in a while. It's okay to crawl into the caves of life and withdraw for a little while. But that's not where we're called to reside. Don't stay there. It's okay to go through times of discouragement. It's okay to feel sorry for yourself and your situation in life for a period. But it is not okay to stay there. You eventually have to get up and go to the edge of the cave. That's all the Lord is calling us to do. Come to the edge of the cave, and He's going to provide for us, and He's going to prepare us for where we have to go. So I think your point is exactly right. I think a lot of us go through times where we're discouraged and we want to feel sorry for ourselves, and we woe is me attitude. And even Elijah was there. So remember that. Even Elijah was there. But the Lord comes to Elijah and he says, what are you doing here? And I think a lot of times that's what the Lord is telling us as well. We get into those places and those valleys and those ruts of life, and he comes to us and through his word and he says, what are you doing here? It's time to get up, stop feeling sorry for yourself, and move forward.
It's a good word, and I'm thank you for tying it into that, because that is so important. And I just realized that, man. I was who really helped bring it to my attention? Kyle Kreiner comes in here and hangs out with us sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And he told me, he goes, Rob, man, over the past couple of weeks, and he's a friend, and this is why it's so important that a friend tells you what's up.
Yeah.
If you're going to be a real friend to somebody, you know what, man? You got to tell people what's up sometimes. Yeah. And he came in here and he told me what's up in a nice way. He wasn't like bashing me, but I went to a and he goes, man, he goes, I always enjoy how uplifting this you do with this show and all the things y'all talk about. But he goes, man, here over these past 2 or 3 weeks, it's just been like Debbie Downer. He's like, you're talking about your dog and you're talking about, and these are all stories that I've shared. And, of course those things bring you down, but he's like, man, we got to get this thing back up. And he was exactly right. And it was at that time that I was like, you know what, Lord, thank you for a good friend like Kyle. It's good to have that. And he didn't come in here and throw stones at me and you throw water bottles at me and tell me to get off the air. He told me as a friend, he goes, hey, man, I'm just letting you know it's been kind of Debbie Downer the past few weeks. So we're on a new trajectory, brother.
It reminds me, I went this past Sunday, I went to the church that I first pastored for the first time as a full-time pastor in Waco. And my wife and I were just married. We had a lot of great memories when we served there. And I went back to preach there this Sunday to it was their 70th anniversary for their church, and it was a great time. It was packed. But while I was there, I went through a terrible time in my personal life. We were in a very tragic accident that occurred there in Waco, and a few people lost their lives after that accident. And me and my wife, it was a really trying time, and we decided that after that was all over, that we really needed to come back home to Huntsville and kind of restart our life. And that's what we did. We came back here and we planted our roots, and God just provided, and I started pastoring part-time, and I had a full-time job, so I was really kind of taking a pay cut and a demotion in a way, and just kind of start out simple. But at that time, I didn't realize it. Looking back, I now realize it, that I was going through a lot of depression at that time. Mm-hmm. And my music minister at the time was Wes Barty. All those that know Wes, he was a great, great man. He's gone to be with the Lord now, but he was such a great man. And I remember one day he came in, we were talking about it, because he had recently went through a difficult time too. He lost his granddaughter in a tragic SIDS accident that happened. And so he and I could fellowship in our sufferings. We could come together. And he said, you know what I realized is that when I'm going through this, I'm not only robbing the victory that Jesus has given to me, I'm not only robbing the joy from myself, but I'm also robbing it from my family. And he helped me realize that my depression and my discouragement and my spirit that was brought low, as the Bible says, my spirit was brought low. Well, that wasn't only affecting me. It was affecting my wife. It was affecting my kids. It was affecting, in fact, my youngest son at the time, he was Noah. He was starting to lose parts of his hair on top of his head, and we didn't know what it was about. We took him to the doctor, and the doctor says, have y'all been under any kind of stress? And Kim and I looked at each other and were like, what my issues were being cast down to them. Yeah. They were bearing the weight of that burden. And so me and Wes got together and we prayed about it, because like I said, we were both going through that together. And he just told me, he's like, you know what? We've got to choose joy. We've got to decide that this is the day that the Lord hath made. I will rejoice and be glad in it.
Amen, man.
I will get up in the morning and thank God for another day. And realize, like we talked about earlier, realize that God's still on his throne. He's still got a plan. And all of these tragedies, these things that we go through, these difficulties of life, that they pale in comparison to the things that he has in store for us. And so one of the verses that we posted onto the pulpit, so that whenever he got up on Sunday morning or I got up on Sunday morning, we could look down and see it says, restore to me the joy of my salvation and uphold in me a willing spirit. Psalm 51:12. And that verse stayed on that pulpit to remind us that every day we get up, we get the opportunity to not what circumstances we face. We don't have that opportunity, but we do have the opportunity to decide how we're going to face the circumstances, with what attitude. And I think that makes all the difference in the world.
That's good. As I was thinking, Jason, you hear that word victory, and a lot of times it's associated with a prosperity type gospel or something like that. And I think if you look at it in the context of what does that word victory mean, and then you can really understand it's victory in a relationship with Jesus Christ, that we don't have to, you know what, it doesn't mean that things aren't going to come our way, because you told me this, and you were 100% right. More things are going to come your way. I was thinking of this, and I read this too when I think of that word victory and being a conqueror. And Romans 8:37 says, no, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us.
Yes, yes, yes.
And that means that we can overcome whatever is thrown our way because the battle has already been won, and we just have to understand and have faith that Christ is going to carry us through. And I'm speaking to the non-believer today, too, to let you know that if you're in the lowest of lows right now, I'm going to tell you it's not easy being a Christian. But I want you to make that decision today to say, you know what, I'm going to follow. And I don't want it for me. I want it for you and for Jesus Christ. Because I've been through it. I've lived it. I understand the lowest of lows. And I understand what it's like to be in a desolate place to where you feel like you're all alone and that nobody is listening. And the one thing, Jason, I'm not sitting, if you weren't here, I would be saying this. The one thing that has brought me through all of it is a relationship with Jesus
Amen.
Christ. And I haven't experienced the lowest of lows that maybe some of you, but we have all experienced our lows in our own way. And I started thinking a lot about that, and that word victory has just really resonated over these last few weeks. And with everything that's happened in the world and seeing people come together now, many millions of people united in Christ for Christ's sake, not for a person, but for Jesus Christ, I started thinking, man, I've got to step it up at home. I've got to be a better husband. I've got to be a better father. I've got to continue to fight the good fight because the enemy is always attacking. And you can't say heaven without saying hell because both are very real places. And I don't want anybody to go to hell. And I wanted to say one last thing, Jason, because, boy, you got me rolling, brother.
Go.
There's one other thing that I was thinking about this morning. It's fun when you wake up in the morning because you never know, kind of what thought's going to pop into your head first. And I was just kind of thinking this morning about all these things. And I said, really I should be focusing. So I, of course, focus on my relationship with the Lord, number one. But number two, I need to focus more on my family. And I said this, the first mission field should be your own family. Don't go win the world and try to lose your family. That was that's what I felt was laid on my heart when I woke up this morning. And I guess it hit me because Braylon had woke up last night, and it's one of my favorite things, honestly, when the kids wake up and we bring them into the bed. Now, you're going to maybe agree to disagree. But because for you guys, it's probably every night. It's one or, for us, it's maybe once a week. So I cherish this moment. I know you do too. But, she woke up last night, and I started thinking about my family. And I said, one day this ain't going to be happening. And as she came in the room at, 1 or 2 in the morning, and I love it because we used to lock the bedroom doors. My grandmother had passed down these things to me over the years of make sure you turn off the stove, make sure the front door's locked, the back door's locked. She was always very secure. And she had one of them old-timey houses where she had all those locks on the front door. And then she would lock every one of those. The old chain lock, the other bolt lock. She would do the deadlock. And then on top of that, Jason, she would put a chair under the doorknob.
Man, she was secure. Now, she didn't latch the window, but the door was secure.
the door, the one place that people wouldn't come through, So I guess I picked up that habit from her. I'm like old school when we leave the house. Is the stove off? We haven't even been using the stove, And last night I had a candle burning up here, and I really we'll talk about this in a minute down the road. It's pretty neat. But I called Bailey. I was like, hey, I really need to put that candle out because I'm not up there right now. I'll tell you the story, Carla. If you're watching, I know I can regenerate the flame from you, so no worries. But I started thinking about all that, and last night, Jason, as I looked over, we used to keep the bedroom door locked, and now I hear that little clank of the door. I'm a light sleeper. I mean, my phone will flash a color on its screen and it wakes me up. I don't even know how that's possible. But I hear that little door and I immediately know it's Braylon. And she came in and I looked at her and then I looked at my wife as my wife was sleeping and Braylon. I said, man, I really need to do a better job as a father and as a husband. Not that I'm doing a terrible job now, but I need to. There's things that I need to do. And that was what was revealed to me. So, anyways, long story, but that's what it is. So
no, that's an awesome story because I think you're right. Our families and the what we pass on is so important, and that's like tying out all that together with choosing joy over our troubles and focusing on the positive. And that, like you said, that's what this show is all about, is really focusing on the good. And so much of what we do is focuses on the enemy. But I want people to remember this, is that trouble or trials is what happens to me. But joy is what happens in me when I choose to trust in Christ. And I think it's like the old saying goes, sometimes God calms the storm, but sometimes God calms his child within the storm. And as you said earlier, it's not always, rainbows and butterflies in life. We face dark times and difficult. Even Jesus, he was took into the wilderness and tempted by the enemy, faced the cross. Obviously, all these things that he encountered. And why should we expect anything different? We're going to face difficulties, but in the midst of those difficulties, how we react reflects who we trust. And I think that's the messaging. But thinking about your children and passing it on, there's a song that I fell in love with years ago, and it's not widely played, but you need to play it. It's called "Let Them Be Little." I don't know if you've ever heard that song. Most people haven't. But I fell in love with that song years ago when we were having children, and I taught our music minister. He learned that song, and he used to play it at different times. But it has a wonderful messaging. But in the song, it talks about letting your children sleep in the middle. And I love that song. It has a great little message in it about raising children. And I think you will appreciate it because you're at that stage right now where you're just enjoying them when they're little, and you should enjoy those times because they pass so quick.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. I hear that from many people, and it's, I think too. There's a lot of things, Jason, that it's like I don't want to relate all this to marketing, but it's top of mind, and the more that we focus on things, the more that we start thinking about them subconsciously And I want my subconscious to be filled with good. And how does your subconscious be filled with good? You take in good things,
right?
And you be appreciative, and you have gratitude, and you remain thankful in all things. And because of that, boy, I'm telling you, there's moments that maybe 4, 5, 6 months ago, there was moments to where this anger would come over me. That now, when I start to feel the anger, I can respond in a totally different way. Because we can control the atmosphere, just like you said earlier. I mean, we literally can control the atmosphere of our homes. We can control the atmosphere of our friendships. We can control the atmosphere of our relationships. And what do I mean by that? It's the way that we handle adversity when it comes our way. When you're you feel that argument coming on with your spouse. Bridget and I had started the other night, and it was guess what? It was me. It was the atmosphere that I was putting out, and immediately I knew I needed to stop this. I said, let's just pray real quick, and you were right.
Oh wow!
It just goes
diffuse.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
Now I'm still getting the side eye, but the diffusion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The diffusion is there.
Yeah, and it refocuses you.
So that's a little bit of a kind of, we always try to have a little inspiration, so we wanted to wake you up with some this morning. Well, let's step aside, take a break. Just Jason and I hanging out. It's always fun here on a Thankful Thursday. Do us a favor. Let us know what you're thankful for, and maybe let us know. We don't want you to talk about bad times, but let us know maybe how you've handled a bad time. Comment in. Let us know some things that you do whenever you feel adversity coming your way, or when you feel trouble starting to lurk in. What is maybe the first thing that you do, or some things that have helped you to overcome that? We'd love to hear those comments and share those with others because, friends, as I said earlier, we feel like we're alone in something, but we're really not. Number one, Christ has been through everything that we can imagine. But then number two, there is somebody else in this world that has been through what you've been through. Maybe not the exact step-by-step, A through Z, walk through the process, but I guarantee no matter what you're facing today, other people have experienced it. We don't want you to feel alone. So when you share those things, it may help somebody else.
Yeah, it does. It does.
So let's take a break. We'll be back in a moment. Send in those comments. Let us know that you're out there. And as always, we appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for waking up with us. And we're here on this very Thankful Thursday. It's brought to you by First Baptist Church, a harbor of hope here in Huntsville. You can find out more information. We encourage you to go to our website at FBC Huntsville. That's why my chest, well, nope, there I go. See, I was about to say, woe is me. My chest is feeling good, Jason. No pain. FBCHuntsville.org. We'll step aside, take a break. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us. It's Good Morning Huntsville.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
The church should be transformational. And maybe you've never been to church, or maybe life has left you feeling lost, but Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." At First Baptist Church, Huntsville, a harbor of hope, we're not trying to fit in with the world. We're here to help you step into something greater, a fresh start, a new life in Christ. Join us this Sunday at 10:45 and see what God can do in your life. Visit fbchuntsville.org. Hope is here, and we're saving a seat just for you.
Loving Jesus, loving people side by side. In this harbor of hope, we are safe inside.
Since 2010, the Oak Ridge Disciple House has helped men break free from addiction, not with quick fixes, but lasting change through Jesus Christ. They've celebrated 167 graduates at Oak Ridge and 138 more at Interfaith with an 80% success rate. That's compared to just 5% in most secular programs. The fact is, Jesus works. And now, celebrating 15 years, they're building their third house in Tennessee and just launched a women's program, Restoration Ranch in Texas. It's all for God's glory. And here's the heart of it. They never turn anyone away for lack of money. In fact, 95% of families receive scholarships. As one person put it, don't talk about it, be about it. Every penny counts. Donate today at oakridgedisciplehouse.com and help change a life forever. The Oak Ridge Disciple House. Online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Real recovery, real hope.
Tomorrow's Promise Montessori schools believe in creating spaces where children can learn, grow, and use their imaginations. At any Tomorrow's Promise location, children enjoy the largest playgrounds in town. Tomorrow's Promise Montessori is a fun school where every child learns at their own pace, and mastery of a concept is expected before moving on to the next concept. At Tomorrow's Promise, every child is respected, loved, and nurtured for the unique individual that they are.
Tomorrow's Promise Academy on Veterans Memorial now open. Visit tomorrowspromise.info for more information. Education you can trust. This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
I can remember when you fit in the palm of my hand. You felt so good in it, no bigger than a minute. How it amazes me, you're changing with every blink. Faster than a flower blooms, they grow up all too soon. So let them be little.
Man, I like that, Jason.
Listen to this part. Listen to this part. This is the part that you're gonna connect with.
Give them hope, give them praise, give them love every day. Let them cry, let them giggle, let them sleep in the middle.
See there?
I like it.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to go back and jam to this.
Yeah.
Hopefully the algorithms don't boot us off this morning, but yeah, that was too good to not play.
Yeah, see there, that song, that if you haven't heard that, it's an old song, but it wasn't widely played whenever it came out. It's by Billy Dean, and it is a song that just talks about children. And I think sometimes we try to make our kids grow up way too soon. You know, we want them to, we're always pushing them to the next thing, but I think it's important to let them be little.
Well, Billy Dean, if you get flagged for this, you know, because it'll notify the artist. Billy, we're singing your praises this morning, brother. And thank you for allowing us to play that. Go back and listen to what we were talking about why we played a little excerpt of your song.
Yeah.
No copyright infringement intended.
Yes, that's right.
So thank you, Billy. Call us up. Come hang out with us on the show.
Oh, man. That would be great. Bring your guitar.
Yeah, please. Boy, that was a great song. Never even heard of it.
Yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying. It has a great little message.
All right, well, we're going to shift gears from that wonderful message to another wonderful message because you know what time it is? It's 8:13. Actually, it's 8:14 and 30 seconds. Studio 1229J. At the low end of the hill in Huntsville, the Huntsville Hills, next to Dr. Cole's office at 1229J. It's time for Jason Bay and news you can use, brothers.
That's right, Rob. It is time for news you can use, and this is news that you can use around your dinner table and discuss. Hopefully, bring up some issues that maybe not are on the front page, but maybe on the second or third page, and maybe don't focus on all the negative, but focus on things that we can provide discussion with. So I have a few things that I want to share with you today. Entrepreneur Magazine, they did an interview, and the title of the article is "Hard Talks Made Easier." I like this one because it's similar to what we were talking about earlier. They interviewed an executive, and he said these are 10 magic words that can diffuse any situation. He says, whenever someone acts strange or upset, just say this: it seems like you've got a reason for saying that. Because what he says in this article is that a lot of times, he says, if you've ever argued with a partner, you understand this. You might fight about who should clean the sink, but it's really not about the sink. It's about something deeper, like feeling unappreciated. But because big things are hard to talk about, we often express ourselves through little things. So the 10 words that he says you can use in a relationship or at work is when someone brings up something, says your spouse yells at you about cleaning your sink, you reply, it seems like you got a reason for saying that. A client demands something unreasonable, you reply, it seems like you've got a reason for saying that. A coworker says something mean, you reply, it seems like you've got a reason for saying that. It's disarming. The more you encourage the other side to talk, the more likely it is that you'll get to the moment of collaboration quicker.
So it's a phrase I've been saying over the last few weeks, Jason, dialogue over destruction.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I love that phrase, Rob. Because
I'm making T-shirts. They're on sale now.
What we're talking about in our nation today with the things that we see. Man, what if people just learn to talk? And a lot of times I think the article is right. The things we say are a reflection of something deeper that's going on. And when you say that, it seems like you've got a reason for saying that. It opens the door then for a dialogue about what we're dealing with. So there you go. That's a 10-word phrase that you can use to resolve any conflict. It seems like you've got a reason for saying that. So now you know my secret, Rob. If I'm saying that to you over and over and over again.
Say it like 20 times within a minute. Oh, Rob, it seems like what is it again? It seems like you've got a reason for saying
that. If someone says something that, is complaining about something, or it opens the door for them to then go a little deeper.
See, I would be like, oh, you think?
You think?
Of course I have a reason for saying it. I can't stand your face.
All right, there you go. We got to the heart of the matter really quick.
It's always been my face, man. It's good, though, yeah.
I know you love Reader's Digest.
Oh, yeah,
we talk
please.
about
Thank you
this
for bringing
very
this up.
much. And this combines two of your greatest interests, Rob. Not only does it involve Reader's Digest, that's one, but number two, it involves McDonald's, as I like to say.
Yes, McDonald hamburger.
That's right. So the title of the article is We Interviewed Top Chefs, and 6 out of 10 picked this as their all-time favorite McDonald's hamburger. Now think about the 10 top chefs in America. They asked them about eating at McDonald's. What was their favorite burger? What do you think it was?
At McDonald's?
Yeah.
The Big Mac?
No.
But my favorite's the quarter pounder with cheese.
That's what they picked. 6 out of 10 said the best burger at McDonald's is the quarter pounder with cheese. And they mentioned in this article that those patties, of course, are 100% beef, and they're also cooked, made to order. So they're cooked fresh when you order a quarter pounder with cheese. So
at McDonald hamburger.
That's right, at McDonald hamburger. The second place, by the way, behind the quarter pounder with cheese was just a regular old cheeseburger. So there you go. That's some news you can use, and as referring to McDonald's. Sticking on the food issues, here's another one that I thought was pretty interesting. In Delish magazine, you ever heard of that?
I've heard of it. I haven't read it, though.
Okay, it says, these are the hands down the dirtiest restaurant chains in America.
Ooh.
Now, let me tell you how they came up with this, and let me just say, this doesn't reflect necessarily our local. This is nationwide, so every restaurant obviously is unique. But what they looked at is they looked at chains across America. They looked at lawsuits, general health inspections, and that's the research that they did to obtain these results. Now, I'm going to mention the number, or a few of these, but the number one of all the dirtiest chains in America, according to Delish magazine, is Chipotle.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what's weird in Fargo? I'd never been to a bad Chipotle. Mm-hmm. They had 2 of them there, and both of them were absolutely terrible. And I'm saying this out of truth because I told Bridget, I said, I don't think we should go to this Chipotle. She goes, what are you talking about? They're always okay. We walked in, the 1.3 star reviews. I've never seen a Chipotle 1.3 stars out of hundreds of reviews. Mm-hmm. Man, the manager was cussing out employees in front and then the reviews said the manager cusses out employees in front of customers. And I'm not joking. I was like, the reviews were accurate. This lady was cussing out the employees, and there was trash everywhere. It was filthy.
It says in the article, I hate to break it to you, but Chipotle has a high history of food safety issues. The company recently paid $25 million to resolve a criminal lawsuit related to a series of foodborne illness outbreaks from 2015 to 2018. Chipotle was charged with adulterating food in violation of the FDA, resulting in the largest food safety case in history. So number one was Chipotle. Number two, this is nationwide. That's not reflecting our local establishments. It's Burger King.
Oh, no.
Number three, you probably wouldn't be surprised, as Taco Bell. Have you been to Taco Bell lately?
Not to complain, because I told you I'm on a positive kick.
Yeah.
But, 3 weeks ago, I went to Taco Bell. I haven't been in forever.
Yeah, go ahead.
I thought I was having a pancreatitis attack, and my stomach still has not recovered.
Let me tell you something. We went to Taco Bell last week. Long time. It has been a long time since we've been there. Did you go in or did you stay out?
Drive through.
Okay, so my son Sam, he loves the Doritos tacos.
Oh yeah.
So, and if I ask him in the car after Sunday, I'll say, "Where do y'all want to go?" If he's in there, he'll say Taco Bell.
I love Sammy. I love it.
So we go to Taco Bell, and Taco Bell has totally. This was Sunday night. We went there. because I saw the McKenzie's there, the Miss McKenzie, I saw her and her husband there, Linda, and we were there, and there's nobody that works the counter at Taco Bell anymore.
What?
Yeah, they have all these little remote. You have to order on a screen over here. You order on a screen, or you can do it on your phone, and then there's people working in the back, and they bring your food. I mean, they holler your name out, but there's no like customer service. There is just nothing. So we ordered on the little screen like we're supposed to. We go through there. We're waiting for our drinks. There's nobody at the counter.
This is the one next to the old Long John Silver's?
No. This is the one over by
45 there.
Yeah, over by Little Caesars.
Gotcha.
And Boot Barn. So there's nobody working at the counter. So we sat down, and I go up there, and I realize, well, we didn't get our drinks. So I'm going up there, and I'm standing there, and I'm standing there, and I'm standing there, and I stand there for about 5 minutes. And this guy that was sitting over at this table, he said he saw me stand there, and he got up, and just a customer. And he got up and he came up there. He said, "Are you waiting on your drinks?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "They're not going to give it to you." He said, "What did you get? How many drinks did you get?" And I said, "I don't remember how it was, like 8." He said, "Okay." And he just went behind the counter. He got the drinks and handed them to me. And they were just I'm serious.
No, wait a minute. I got 12. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm just thinking, man, this is – but I'm telling you, that's what we're going to nowadays.
Wow.
All the AI stuff is really pushed customer service way, way back.
That's crazy.
Yep.
I get fairly annoyed when I go into a store that they force the self-checkout on you because it limits interaction. You know, I'm just not a fan of it. We went to Target the other day, and that was the only lanes they had open. And Bridget gets kind of flustered with me, but I told her, I said, I want to interact with people. I don't want to interact with the screen with this camera in my face, you know, with click here and tap here and do all that. At least at Home Depot, it's a tighter self-checkout, and the lady that's always there is always very sweet. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to do it, then do it that way. Do it to where you still have to walk through an area to where you get to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Because at Home Depot, they have it, but it's great. The lady's always very nice that's there. You still get to interact. And she comes up to you, "Hey, sir, how you doing? Is there anything I can help you with?" If you're going to do, that's the way it should be. Have almost like a greeter that walks around saying, "Hey, is there something? Do you need any help? How you doing today?"
Yep. And
I'm cool with it.
I'll tell you what, that's the benefit of shopping local. Like locally owned businesses, because locally owned businesses still really are focused on customer service. You know, you go over here to Ace Hardware.
Oh man, they're jumping out of their seat to help you.
Yep, you know, and you go to like McCoy's. You know, the locally owned businesses still really value customer service, and I think it's sad, but we're moving into that age where it's just really hard to find good customer service because everything is done by AI. Whether you're calling some number, you go through this series, whether you go into Taco Bell or wherever you go, we're losing that personal interaction. I think that's devastating for our society. I really do.
Do you know what I was thinking of here and relating it to our church here at FBC, Jason? Boy, the customer service here is through the roof. And when you walk in, and I know I'm not making it sound like we're in the business, but when you walk in, we got a lady who greets you, who loves on you, and then if it's after time, there's a nice man, Jesse, there, but Molly's there first, then Jesse's there. And I'm going to tell you, there's something about walking into a place, and this, I see the fruit of it here at our church. There is something about that greeting when people walk in.
People need that.
Businesses need to follow the same suit and have somebody to greet. You remember Walmart back in the day used to have the greeters. H-E-B, I don't know if the H-E-B here, the old one, had greeters, but our H-E-B growing up, I'll never forget, it was Miss Joan. And Joan would greet me when I was a child, and she always had a big bucket of lollipops. You remember them little ones with that the little hook on it? And you'd bite them, and then they'd fall apart, She would always greet us, and I never forgot that.
The little things matter. They really do. And I think the Walmart still has those people at the door, but now they're more at the door to check your receipt, But you could train those guys. Hey, it's not just your job to check receipts. It's your job to make sure everybody comes in, has a positive word.
And one way that you can encourage, I've thought a lot about this, one way that it's so easy for us to walk by somebody and be, oh, there they are grumbling about their job, or there they are not doing anything about their job. You know, I've done that before. I'll be transparent. You know, when I'm driving, I've been in the store before, and I in my mind I've said there's somebody that don't care about their job. But you know what? That's the wrong way to think. Maybe they just need somebody to give them a spark. Mm-hmm. You know, we live in the society of where we expect everybody to get up and get with the program. You know,
right.
But sometimes, you know what? Somebody needs a program guide. Mm-hmm. Somebody needs somebody to give them a little spark. Right. And I've made it very intentional now that when I see people that are working, that I tell them how important the job is. We were blessed with tickets to the this past week. Bridget's uncle gave them to us Sunday night, so we went on Sunday night. And even the folks that were in the concessions, I could tell that's a mundane job. Most of those people aren't happy to be doing that. Mm-hmm. But you know what? We could provide the spark to help them know that they're appreciated. And I remember telling this guy, I said, brother, I just want you to know, man, it may not. And I told him, I just felt like telling him this. I said, I know it may not feel like much because you're seeing hundreds of thousands of people. I said, but I want you to know how important your job is, man. You've been a blessing to me today. Mm-hmm. By the simple act of filling up my Coke can, my cup, man. Mm-hmm. And you know what he did? He goes, man, thank you for acknowledging that. And his whole attitude changed.
Yeah. It makes a difference.
So just acknowledge people and tell them that you're thankful no matter what job. That don't just be another person that just is that person that crosses by another person. No, stop and pause. And it may be uncomfortable for some of you, but I'm going to tell you, the fruit of that, you never know what that's going to do.
Free advice to those that are younger viewers, or maybe our parents to younger viewers. I always tell my children this, especially my girls, whenever God takes you out to eat and they're taking you to a restaurant, watch how that guy treats the wait staff. Because how they treat the people that serve them will tell you a whole lot about their personality and how they're going to treat you later in life. So I think that's very accurate. Watch when you interact with people, watch how they treat those that serve them. Watch how they treat people that are refilling their glass, and it tells you a lot about their personality and what they're and who they are inside. Because we can fake it to those people that, you know, if you're taking a girl out on a date or whatever, you can fake it in front of them. But the way that you treat those other people around you will say a lot about who you are.
It does. Yeah.
All right.
Hey, I bumped into something real quick.
Yes.
I shouldn't have showed. I was testing it while you were talking. I've been listening.
That's what you do all the time. You never pay attention to what I'm saying.
No, I do. But one day I'm going to teach Josh how to do this. He's our executive producer behind the scenes. I'm the associate producer. But I just wanted to show you this.
Here we go. There you are. Look at you.
Yeah.
Enjoying that. Hey, man, now you have it animated.
Whoa, look at that thing. Watch that book. Watch this, Jason.
You are so happy.
No, watch. Look.
It turns itself.
Look at this. Watch it.
Woo. Man. You got your cane. That's you in about 5 years.
Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it. News you can use. This is whenever I hear news you can use, this is what I'm doing in the background.
Speaking of walking with a cane. So the Wall Street Journal just published an article, and in the article it talks about the evolution of the running shoe and what comes next. You noticed a lot of changes with the tennis shoe lately. I mean, look at mine. I got the old school Fila's right here.
Oh, cool, yeah.
I'm just going back to
I like it.
The old school. But if you have noticed, there's a lot of like running shoes in particular, and there's a lot of new types of shoes that look a lot different. And Hoka was one of the shoe companies that really did a lot of innovation on how we wear shoes. Does your wife works at the hospital?
Creekside, yeah, it's a nursing facility. Yeah.
Okay, so she works at Creekside, and she's on her feet a lot. Does she wear any special kind of shoes?
Like, yeah, I don't know what kind they are, but yeah,
But they're not like Hokas or something like that, are they?
No, but I've seen those.
Are they like and the Hokas? What makes them unique, and a lot of other shoes that are kind of knockoffs of them, is that they have a really high amount of foam underneath for the sole.
Oh yeah.
They're stacked shoes is what this article calls them, but the higher stack, it says after they've done research, and it also has a carbon fiber woven into the sole to help with the rebound effect when you're walking. And they're also made kind of on a convex platform where they are easier on your joints and your ankles to help you walk naturally. But they've done some research on these shoes, and it says that even though the impact score, like when you're running, is different when you're on your lower ankles and your lower foot whenever you're wearing those high stack shoes, there is a cost to be paid, this article talks about. And what it says is the downside of the shoe with a higher height is that it's also less stable. The shorter the shoe, the more of the work is done by the foot and the ankle, causing more stress in those areas. The taller shoes absorb more of the impact, but the forces are transferred to the knees and the hips. And it says, like, for my mother actually was talking about these type of shoes because she was thinking about getting them, the Hoka shoes or other shoes that are like them with a higher stack. For older people, my mother is going to be 81. For older people, they're not as recommended because they are less stable. It's easier to fall because they're higher up. And not only that, because the shoe transfers the absorption to the knees and the hips, it can also be more devastating to those joints if you're used to wearing those type of shoes. But anyway, there you go, evolution of the running shoe and what comes next in the Wall Street Journal.
I'm thinking my mom's going to get mad at me for saying this, but she used to take some of my old shoes back in the day. I don't know what, Mom, I never questioned you on this. I just saw them by the back door, and I never questioned you. But for some reason, she would take my old shoes and she'd cut the tops out of them and she'd wear those around sometimes. And I never understood why. But I think it was it was like she would turn them into sandals. She would be walking around out. She'd be mowing the lawn in them. And then she'd come in and her toes. I was like, Mom, what happened? Oh, a rock hit me in the toe. My mother's my mom's tough, man. She don't play around. And so I'm just sitting there, Mother, well, you need to get some shoes that don't have, She's like, well, your shoes are comfortable, son. They're just too hot on my feet. Maybe that's why she did, but she'd always cut the tops out of them. I love you, Mom. Please don't get mad at me.
I thought that's what you did, like whenever you had kids and they outgrew their shoes. You just cut the end off so their feet could just grow.
Keep growing.
Keep wearing them.
You just put some popsicle sticks and some duct tape.
Yeah, right. Houston Chronicle came out with an interesting article today. Don't look at it, Rob.
I didn't see. Okay. All I saw was a police officer.
Okay, so here we go. So then in Harris County, there's 8 constables that work in the Harris County area. Now, this article really surprised me when I read it. And of course, these are elected Harris County officials. They're constables. What do you think the annual salary of a Harris County constable is?
$65,000.
How about $260,000?
Oh, how about Jason? I love y'all, man. I'm going to be campaigning down in Harris County.
$260,000. They just approved this. It's a 62% raise in their price. But this made the Houston Chronicle today that the Harris County constables will make $260,000 more than Governor Greg Abbott and Vice President J.D. Vance make. So,
wow,
$260,000. I couldn't believe that when I read that.
Boy, I'm telling
article.
you, man. Where do you go to learn how to do that?
Yeah, no kidding. I don't know. Sign me up. I can send out some
You'll be in the middle of a sermon. Hey, guys, I got to go. I got a call. I got to go deliver some papers.
Definitely.
You'll have one of those scanners on when you're preaching. The funeral home has them, the scanners, because when they hear when things happen, they start going, dee-doo, dee-doo, dee-doo. All right, guys, yo, Pastor Don, come take over. I gotta go.
I gotta go. Right after I stopped by the bank.
Have you ever been in the middle of a sermon though, and something happened and you had to stop? I've never heard of that before.
Well, yeah, not stop. There's been distractions and
where you have to pause and stuff,
and we're out in the congregation where something has happened, and we've had to deal with different issues such as that, like medical emergencies. We've had those happen before, and stuff like that, I think, has happened. And then one time here, we had a disruptor that came in and was trying to disrupt the service, and we had to deal with that. But the best way that we handled that, our guys did a great job of handling that situation. And by the way, just the environment that we live in today, those things are more and more likely to happen, where people come in and want to disrupt the service.
It used to happen in Houston. We went to a big church down in Houston. And I'll never forget, like, these people just started yelling and screaming and did some stuff that was wildly inappropriate. And I'll never forget the pastor. He just said, "All right, we're just Lord," and he just started praying because they, like here they had the people, they had the right team, the protocols in play, but he's like, "Just join me in prayer," like in the middle of the sermon. "All right, we're going to start praying. Lord, be with these people," and he was like, "You're on the." It was funny because you always say you're on the throne. He said, "You're still on the throne," and I was like, "Wow, that was crazy, man."
So we and I think more and more churches, especially larger churches, are gonna face this reality of people coming into the service trying whatever reasons to disrupt the service. Because of the thing we talked about earlier, people just don't want to have a dialogue. They don't want to. They want to scream and they want to disrupt. And anyway, what we did in this situation, this person came in the back and was sat there for like the worship service, sat there and was just fine. And then when the preaching started, he started just hollering in the background, just random stuff and trying to make a scene. So I just continued preaching, and we have an usher team that came and talked to him and said, "Hey, man, if you want to talk about these things, let's go out into the foyer." And they talked to him. But he was having a mental health issue, had mental health issues, obviously, and was going through something. But that's how we handled that situation. But there's training on this, too, about how to handle situations like that. And that is actually one of the training methods, not to pray, but to just have the music group, the band, whatever, just to start playing worship music and just start singing, and it powers the person that's trying to disrupt.
I'm not making light of this. Sorry to go down this rabbit hole, but Joshua Moshy's probably back there, if he's listening, is laughing about this because there was a guy. I've got to find a video after the show, and it's nothing inappropriate. It's hilarious. This guy starts disrupting this church during the service, all right? And there's nothing funny about the disruption, right? That's not a funny thing. I don't want to make light of that. But what was funny in this, they had like the organ and stuff. And as this guy was yelling, the preacher was like, "Get him out of here," and then because he wouldn't stop and no one. So finally the preacher was like, "Get him out of here, get him out of here," because the guy was like, "You're a false prophet," just starts yelling. Well, in the background, the choir starts playing the organs like, it was like this walk-off music for this guy.
Oh,
Remind me and I'll show it to you.
Yeah, I got to check that out.
Anyway, sorry to go down. We started from the constable to this. So, news you can use continues.
News you can use. All right, here's some mind-blowing facts that sound completely made up but are actually true. So I'm just going to give you a few of them as we wind down our news you can use today. Number one, did you know that Panda Express actually invented orange chicken?
No, had no idea.
Yeah, if you go to any Chinese restaurant in the United States, you're likely to see orange chicken on the menu. And it all started with Panda Express. The dish was developed in 1987 by the chain's executive chef while he was on a business trip. So there you go. He was in Hawaii, and he, inspired by the citrus found there, he developed orange chicken. So when you go there and they talk about their orange chicken, that they invented the orange chicken, it's actually true. Did you know that VCRs were originally created for taping TV shows, not for watching movies at home? I remember that whenever they first came out. My dad bought at the time, there was two different types of VCRs. Were y'all in on the VCR movement when it first came out?
I had a beta.
Yeah, that's what we had. So Daddy thought, he went to buy back then it was a big purchase to buy a VCR. I remember I was going with him. I went with him to the electronics store, and he was the salesperson was talking to him about which one to get, either the VHS or the Betamax. And he convinced Dad to buy the Betamax.
Yeah,
and
it was far superior back then.
Yeah, it was. He was talking about all the different qualities. He got it from my mother for Christmas, and at that time, I remember it was the selling point was, hey, if you're going to miss something on TV, you can record it, and that's how it first started out, and then it eventually you started with the Blockbusters and little video chains that went around, and you went and picked out a movie to watch. But yeah, we had the Betamax, and that only lasted like a year or so, and then they went out of business, and VHS took it over.
It's neat to think about this, Jason, because the Betamax was far superior. The quality of that smaller tape, it's proven it was far superior than VHS tapes, but it never caught on. The same thing happened. Do you remember there was a battle between Blu-ray and HD DVD?
Yep.
And Blu-ray, the marketing, and it was all about the marketing. The marketing took Blu-ray farther than, even though HD DVD was the big deal, Blu-ray went farther. Same thing happened back in the day with the Atari Jaguar. It was way ahead of its time. It was a 32-bit console or 64-bit console. And then we would not see a 64-bit console for like 8 more years when the Nintendo 64 came out. But the demise of the Atari Jaguar is Atari had such a bad name when the video market crashed, the video game market crashed, so people associated that with failure. And then the controllers were like this huge.
Oh, my gosh.
And they had like 10 buttons on them. And it was but it was crazy to think about all the technology back then, because it's almost like you don't see that type of competitiveness anymore. I mean, you do in a way, but Nintendo would launch a console, then Sony or then Sega would come out. And then it became PlayStation and Xbox. And then you would see one game company and then another, and it was always like there was always one fighting the other.
Yeah, it was back in the day for sure. But I think one of the reasons why it's different nowadays is because, as far as like the video game console wars that aren't as prevalent today, is because now all the video games you download off the internet, and the game companies really control the flow of the medium, and so they can go straight to the customer. They don't have to go through PlayStation or these other, and a lot of people, my kids included, they would rather play a lot of these games on a PC anyway. So a lot of that they can download and play right off of the PC.
Now there's streaming services. There's game streaming services to where you pay $20 a month and you have access to hundreds of games, and it's just like you're on a professional system playing them.
Right.
So, anyways.
So these are mind-blowing facts that sound completely made up but are actually 100% true. We talked about orange chicken, VCRs, Lunchables. Lunchables were invented to help sell more bologna. And they weren't meant to be for kids. In the 80s, the sale of bologna dropped as people were buying less of it due to health concerns. They weren't eating as much meat. And they came up with the idea to boost sales by creating prepackaged, ready-to-eat lunch meal kit that was paired with meat, crackers, and cheese.
That's a bunch of bologna.
Nowadays, it's all about the kids, right? Did you know that Netflix is responsible for the creation of Roku?
No, I had no idea.
Because in late 2007, Netflix got very close to releasing its own streaming service called the Netflix Player, but the CEO decided against it, and Roku took the technology and developed what would later become the Roku in 2008.
We have 2 of those. It's just a. Because we have YouTube TV, and you just go get a $30 Roku, and boom, you're in business.
Yeah, no. Well, nowadays all the TVs are smart TVs, so you don't even need that, or it has that function built in. All right, Rob. So let's see. I want to hit anything else today. I talked about I think that's about it. I think I covered just about. Oh no, it's one last thing I wanted to hit. Houston Chronicle came out with an article today, and I think this is really interesting because in the article they talk about the drugs under the cover of supplements that are sold in gas stations. Now, one of these drugs. Now, I want to bring this to people's attention because your kids, your grandkids can get some of these substances at local gas stations. Now, most of these you have to be 18 or 21 to purchase, but be aware of these things, these so-called supplements that are involving THC, CBD, other things such as that are producing really big highs in anybody that takes them, and they're extremely dangerous. One of these drugs that the FDA is trying to outlaw is called 7-OH. And this is a opioid-like substance. It's called by people on the street as gas station heroin.
Oh.
Now, this article was written by somebody that he said that he tried it, and he said, I had to move fast because the Food and Drug Administration moved to outlaw 7-OH in July. Texas law already forbids it, yet I easily found it at gas stations and vape shops. The national debate over 7-OH reminds me of Texas's battle over THC. It says when he took this, he said it gave him a high that was even stronger than that of morphine that you take. And he said after 90 minutes I was very high, numb, and barely coherent. Oh. At the 3-hour mark, I wished it would wear off already. I felt coherent after 5 hours, but was hungover the next day. A drug that drug in such powerful dose, in a small dose, should require a prescription. A lobby group called the 7 Hope Coalition strongly disagrees. But the reason I bring that up is the FDA is way behind on regulating these supplements that are sold at gas stations and vape shops.
You see them right there at the cash register.
Yep.
I see them every time.
They say there's too many drugs, too many shelves, and there's too little time to control all these different supplements that are coming out. And when they ban one supplement, all they do is change the chemical compound slightly and sell it under a different name. So I wanted to bring that up. It's in the Houston Chronicle, but I wanted to bring it up as a point of awareness for parents, grandparents, is be careful of these things that you see sold in gas stations, vape shops. These pills that are sold as supplements are highly dangerous, and this drug is highly addictive as well. 7-OH, gas station heroin. Nice. If you can believe it or not, supplements sold right there in gas stations. Beware.
Well, that's it. News you can use. Very important news. Today it was on the 6th page.
Yes.
And that's good because you need to get to that 6th page once in a while. So good stuff, Brother Jason. Well, let's take a final break. We'll come back in a moment. We'll take a break. When we come back, I want to highlight just a little bit about what's been happening here at First, Wednesday Night Live, and also as we continue on the Nehemiah series. That's going to be wrapping up.
Update on Rob's fantasy football results.
Oh, no, we're not. No, we're not. Thank you for bringing that up. I don't think so. We'll take a break. Well, we'll give them the update. Stay with us as we wrap it up in a moment. It is your show. It's Good Morning Huntsville here on a very, very thankful Thursday. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Since 2010, the Oak Ridge Disciple House has helped men break free from addiction, not with quick fixes, but lasting change through Jesus Christ. They've celebrated 167 graduates at Oak Ridge and 138 more at Interfaith with an 80% success rate. That's compared to just 5% in most secular programs. The fact is, Jesus works. And now, celebrating 15 years, they're building their third house in Tennessee and just launched a women's program, Restoration Ranch in Texas. It's all for God's glory. And here's the heart of it. They never turn anyone away for lack of money. In fact, 95% of families receive scholarships. As one person put it, don't talk about it, be about it. Every penny counts. Donate today at oakridgedisciplehouse.com and help change a life forever. The Oak Ridge Disciple House. Online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Real recovery, real hope. This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
Tomorrow's Promise Montessori schools believe in creating spaces where children can learn, grow, and use their imaginations. At any Tomorrow's Promise location, children enjoy the largest playgrounds in town. Tomorrow's Promise Montessori is a fun school where every child learns at their own pace, and mastery of a concept is expected before moving on to the next concept. At Tomorrow's Promise, every child is respected, loved, and nurtured for the unique individual that they are.
Tomorrow's Promise Academy on Veterans Memorial now open. Visit tomorrowspromise.info for more information. Education you can trust. This is KHSP LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville. Support for SpiritRadio.fm comes from loyal listeners just like you. Want to help spread the good news across Huntsville and beyond? Underwriting opportunities are available for loyal listeners, businesses, and nonprofits. Visit SpiritRadio.fm and tap Donate today. Braylon, say, this is Spirit Radio.
This is Spirit Radio.
All right, back at it.
Let them be little.
Let them be little. All right. I love our city. Mayor Humphrey, I'm going to put in a request to you, my friend. The Huntsville Municipal Airport out there, KUTS is the official designation, by the way. You know, they call that the METWAR or something like that. There's a certain code that every airport has. KUTS. It's like Cutsville instead of Huntsville. Cutsville.
I like it.
Mayor Humphrey, I'm putting in a request. The irrigation company out there, they haven't fixed the sprinkler system because it's still spraying water on the sensor. For 3 weeks, the National Weather Service has every day. For 3 weeks, the National Weather Service has reported light rain out at the airport, even when it's been clear skies. So, anyways, according to the municipal airport, which isn't true, light rain, 71 degrees right now out there at the airport. Today, a high of only 87, sunny skies. Tonight, how about this, Jason? 64, low 60s, mid to low 60s tonight and clear. Tomorrow, beautiful Friday, 86 and sunny. And then the weekend is going to be very beautiful as well, mid to upper 80s, clear skies. And as we look through, in fact, no rain in the forecast at all through at least Wednesday. So that is your quick weather update. Again, raining, according to the sensor, out at the airport right now, but we
need
know
the rain.
That's not true. So
yeah,
well, we need the rain. That's true.
Yeah,
so.
we do need the rain.
Well, Jason, I was trying to get an organ to give you like a little walk. I
love it.
But we'll get Junior to do that for you. So
yeah, for sure.
Well, hey, there's been a lot going on here at first. Wanted to highlight real quick. Wednesday Night Live has continued. Just a great time for families to come together. And I want to encourage people. You know, if even if you're not connected to a local church or connected here to First, come on Wednesday night and experience what the Lord is doing, because I guarantee you're going to leave here on a Wednesday night hungry for more.
That's right.
It's been a great program, Jason.
It really has, and last night was my last night teaching the children. Now I hand it off to you, Rob. Rob's going to be Rob's going to be bringing it up.
Does that start next week?
Next week, brother.
Oh man, I got to get ready.
Yeah. So, but we've had a great time this semester. I've really enjoyed my time spending with the kids, and the material was really good. We were talking about the timeless nature of God, that He never changes. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And that we can come to Him and with anything, or with any of our issues and our problems, and that God's our hope. And just to hear some of the testimonies of the kids, it's really touching to see how God has impacted their lives. And I love what we do with the kids, because those kids feel so much love coming here, and they get to share what's on their heart and what's on their mind. It really makes a huge impact. We're blessed to have our Winston Outlier program. And all the way up to senior adults, from babies all the way to senior adults, we have something. And Rob, last night you got to sit in on one of the adult classes, and you told me that it really impacted you. Yeah,
Dr. Jones and his wife Anna, they're wonderful folks here at First, and it was I love it too, because it's such a diverse group of people. You know, there's younger folks and there's older folks, and it's so important to have that balance, because the younger folks need to have the experience of older folks in a church to learn and to grow. Because people who have been through things, and that's so important. There needs to be that young and older connection to have a healthy church.
I think so too, and I think
was awesome.
Like you were saying earlier, there's so many different people that have different testimonies, and those testimonies we get a chance to share. It does build faith in others and help people go through tough times. But to know that other people have been there, other people have had struggles too. And I think that's the beautiful thing about coming on Wednesdays and being a part of a discussion group, a small group that discusses the Scripture, and you guys have the opportunity to be a part of that. And I will for the next few weeks. I'm going to be a part of one of those small groups and get the opportunity to be blessed as well. But this Sunday, just want to highlight this Sunday, we're doing something really unique this Sunday. I think it's going to be a great time of worship. We're in Nehemiah chapter 8. We've been studying the book of Nehemiah together, and Nehemiah, this will wrap up the series. Nehemiah chapter 8, after the wall was built around Jerusalem, they had a worship service, but the worship service didn't involve a new band. It didn't involve smoke machines and loud music or light show or anything like that. All the worship service was them coming together and reading the Word. And this Sunday, what we're going to do is I'm going to share that message through the Word, and we're going to have different people share what a passage of Scripture and why and how that impacted their lives. And I think it'll be very moving. We're going to have all different ages represented, some kids even, that will share what their favorite verse is. And we'll have music, but it's going to be a more toned-down service where we just focus on the power of the Word. I think sometimes in some churches have lost sight of the fact of the power of the Word. They have an entertaining presentation. They have, good musicians. They may even have a good speaker. But it's not about coming together and hearing a good speaker. It's not about a motivational message. It's about coming and being transformed by the Word of God. And that's what we're going to be focusing on this week and every week, is that God's Word is the element of transformation, and we believe that, and we believe that's important for everybody to understand. In that story in Nehemiah chapter 8, the people were falling down on their faces in repentance and were coming to the Lord because of just the presentation of the Word. There's power in the Word. Amen. That's what we're going to be studying. So come, be a part.
Come, and Molly will welcome you right at the door. It's going to be great.
Yes.
And I've really enjoyed this whole series too, the Nehemiah series. It's taught me a lot about just what it means to. So many times we hear about don't put up a wall. Well, you know what? Building a wall is not a bad thing. Sometimes you got to build a wall, and it's important to finish the wall. Finish the work that the Lord has started in your life.
That's important.
So, well, hey, I wanted to switch gears before we wrap up. Very important discussion this morning. I get on here and I frequently like to brag about, well, I'm doing great in fantasy football.
Well, see, we don't get the opportunity. Many people out there listening this morning, and they're not playing fantasy football,
No.
but we like to live through you. So we like to pretend like we don't have to do the work. We don't have to set the rosters. We let you take care of that, but we do like to hear how we came out. So how did we come out this week?
Well, week 1, 103 to 89.
That's week 1.
I know, win, okay? Win. This builds it up.
Okay, building up.
Week 2, my father-in-law, all right, 80 to 71.
We discussed that one. We discussed that one last week.
Week 3.
That's this last week.
Oh, never mind. 128 to 67. Horrible week for me. Worst loss I've ever had in fantasy football. Look at this guy's numbers, man. 27 out of his quarterback, Lamar Jackson. Murray only gave me 14. Cook on the Bills gave him 17. Connor only gave me 3. Got nothing from CD Lamb.
And he won't for the next 4 weeks. He's out.
That's the only guy I had that was doing anything, too.
4 weeks. He's out. High ankle
I
sprain.
didn't even watch the Cowboys this past Sunday.
Oh, by the way, this week Micah Parsons makes his return to Dallas. He comes. He's now on the Packers, obviously, and the Packers will be visiting the Dallas Cowboys this Sunday night. So
how's he doing, by the way?
He's doing pretty good.
Well, there you go. That's your update.
That's your update.
That's your update, man. Well, hey, as always, I want to remind folks, too, our streaming is made possible by our friends at Huntsville Memorial Hospital. I've had many chances to sit down with Patrick Sandin, the CEO over there. It's just a great organization. His leadership, and a lot of military experience, too, over 3 decades of military experience. It's awesome to have a leader that's doing so many great things at HMH. And I want to encourage you, if there's something going on and you need medical care, our friends at HMH are there to serve you. They have been exceptionally doing so great. You can go online and look up the new ratings. Many positive things happening, very positive things happening at HMH. And one of the positive things about them helping us is they help us deliver this morning show across multiple platforms, whether it be on YouTube, on 3 different Facebook channels, on LinkedIn, where I always love to say hello to Clyde Law, who joins us every morning. Also through Spirit Radio FM. It's the generous support of HMH, once again, giving back to the community. They said we want to align with the good happening in Huntsville and throughout Walker County, and they are our streaming provider because we do have to pay fees to bring this across multiple platforms. So as always, I want to give a special thank you to HMH. Well, Jason, that'll wrap it up. Any final comment? Been a fun morning. Thanks for hanging out, man.
Yeah, it's been a great morning. I'm looking forward to the weekend. We've got a lot of things going. We're going to go over and visit our kids at A&M. We're going to go watch the Aggies play Auburn together with the kids, and so hopefully we'll get another Aggie win.
That's pretty cool to be in that, the SEC with Auburn. Pretty cool stuff, man.
So
one of these days I'll set up the lunch. We'll go have lunch with Andrew Monaco over there, the voice of the Aggies. He's a good guy.
Yeah, we do. We need to. He's good. Does a great job calling that. I love to turn the TV down and turn the radio up and listen to him.
Turn the radio. There was an old, what was that? Phillips, Craig, and Dean. Turn the radio up. That was one of their, turn on the radio. That was one of their top songs. It sounds like it's from like the early 90s when you hear it. So, well, hey, I wish I had an organ so we could do and kind of send you off, Jason, on a Thankful Thursday, brother. But we don't have that yet. Well, that'll wrap it up here. Big thank you, as always, to Joshua Amashi, Pastor Jason Bay. Come by and see us here at First on Sunday. We'd love to have you, welcome you and your family, and we won't make a big deal out of it. We don't call you out and ask you to stand up, but we do ask that you come. That's all we ask. Just come and come be a part of what the Lord is doing here at First. I'll wrap it up like this, as I do every morning, reminding you we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We're really not. We do need each other, so please provide a word of encouragement, lend a hand of support. I promise somebody out there this morning needs you. Until then, we'll be back at it tomorrow live from Cafe Texan. Please come join us, 7:30. They're going to open the doors early just for the show. We want you to come and celebrate with us as we celebrate 600 wonderful episodes. We're also going to have a good friend of mine, Jackie Holtzman from K. Hovnanian Homes, joining us, giving us some updates on what they're doing here in Huntsville off Highway 30. Great development. They're building some beautiful homes, and we'll continue to build the good here in Huntsville. We'll see you back at it 7:30 tomorrow. Until then, good morning. God bless, and so long. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you, Jason.
All right. Have a great one.